Welcome to the explosive 90-Day Fiancé Tell-All. The set of 90-Day Fiancé, before the 90 Days Tell-All, is ablaze with anticipation. Under the blistering studio lights, the atmosphere crackles with unspoken tension. The backdrop is a masterpiece of sleek, modern design, with the show's bold logo displayed in luminous brilliance. Beyond the glimmering cameras, the audience leans in, whispering in hushed excitement, eagerly awaiting the next dramatic detonation. In a semicircle of plush chairs, the cast members sit, each one poised on the razor's edge of emotion. Some lean forward, coiled like springs, their bodies taut with the weight of words yet to be spoken. Others recline with crossed arms, their darting gazes betraying the turmoil simmering beneath their carefully composed exteriors. At the eye of this emotional cyclone sits Niles Valentine, a storm trapped in a man's body. His usual confidence has been replaced with rigid restraint, his chiseled jaw locked, hands clenching his knees, fingers twitching ever so slightly. His immaculate black blazer screams control, but his demeanor reveals an unspoken battle to maintain his composure. Every breath he takes is an act of defiance against the surge of emotions clawing for release. Across from him, Adnan AR Fata embodies an eerie calm, a masterful display of icy control that only serves to heighten the tension. His suit is pressed to perfection, his cufflinks glinting under the lights as he casually adjusts his sleeves, an effortless act that belittles the gravity of the confrontation brewing before him. While Niles simmers with barely contained fury, Adnan exudes an unshakable nonchalance, a faint smirk curling at the edge of his lips, needling his adversary without uttering a single word. A few seats away, Igal Taylor watches with concealed amusement, her vibrant attire a stark contrast to the tension-heavy scene. Her long, impeccably manicured nails tap a slow rhythm against her armrest, her sly smile hinting at the chaos she anticipates with glee. She leans in ever so slightly, savoring the tension between the two men, knowing that the inevitable eruption will be nothing short of spectacular. And then there's Tigerlily, a connoisseur of conflict, thriving in the heat of the moment, not just as a participant, but as an eager observer of the carnage. Every flicker of emotion, every biting remark, every crack in the armor of composure, he drinks it all in like the finest of wines, relishing the pure, unfiltered drama that unfolds before him. At the center of it all stands the host, a steady force amid the brewing storm, eyes scanning the room with piercing intensity. The night is young, but the battle has already begun. A stack of cue cards lies in wait, their goal clear: navigate the minefield ahead. The tension is palpable, the stakes high, as the unfolding drama takes on a life of its own. Every movement, every breath, every shift of weight is scrutinized by the watchful eyes of both the live audience and the millions tuning in from home. The camera operators adjust their angles, capturing the minuscule yet telling details, the taut line of Niles's jaw, the flicker of amusement dancing in Adnan's eyes, the way Tigerlily struggles to suppress a smirk. The air crackles with anticipation. This is no ordinary discussion, it's a battlefield of wits where words are weapons, and control is the ultimate prize. The exchange begins with measured civility, each side playing their role, feeling out the boundaries, gauging the tension. But the facade of decorum is paper-thin. Unable to contain his irritation, Niles abruptly cuts Adnan off mid-sentence, his voice sharper than intended. A calculated pause follows. Adnan's brows lift, a flicker of theatrical surprise, and then, with effortless grace, he tilts his head, his smile stretching just enough to send an unmistakable signal: he's in control. Niles's nostrils flare. The game has begun. Tigerlily chuckles softly, shaking her head. She knows exactly what Adnan is doing, nudging the bear just enough to provoke a reaction, without ever dirtying his own hands. It's a masterful performance of psychological warfare, and Niles is caught in the snare. Now leaning forward, his body coiled with restrained fury, Niles's grip tightens on the armrests of his chair. His gaze locks onto Adnan's, a silent challenge simmering beneath the surface. The host, sensing the shift, swiftly intervenes, voice steady yet commanding, attempting to steer the conversation back from the brink. But Adnan isn't finished. With the smooth precision of a predator in no rush, he adjusts his cuffs, his movements exuding an air of deliberate control. Then, with a casual shrug, he releases a single, surgically placed remark, one that detonates in the silence like an undetonated grenade finally finding its moment. The reaction is instantaneous. Niles's expression darkens, his fingers curling into fists before he forces them to relax. The breath he takes is rigid, shallow. For a moment, the entire studio is deathly silent. The only sound is the faint, electric hum of the overhead lights. And then, Tigerlily, unable to contain herself, lets out a delighted, startled laugh. One note, sharp and clear, slicing through the tension like a blade. Niles's head whips toward her, eyes flashing, but Tigerlily remains utterly unbothered, her smile only growing. The others steal glances at one another. The atmosphere is charged, the balance fragile. What happens next will dictate the course of this battle. And everyone, host, crew, audience, is holding their breath, waiting for the next move. The tension in the studio is almost palpable. Some audience members are leaning forward, their eyes locked onto the unfolding drama, while others shift uneasily in their seats. A murmur ripples through the crowd, a mixture of hushed whispers and audible gasps. They all know, something monumental is about to happen, something too volatile for live television. Sensing the precariousness of the situation, the host reacts swiftly. With a carefully rehearsed yet unmistakably uneasy smile, they raise a hand, cutting through the thick atmosphere. "Let's take a deep breath here," they say, their voice laced with a fragile diplomacy. "We want a conversation, not a battle." But the battle has already begun. Niles exhales slowly, forcing himself to relax. He uncurls his fist, his fingers flexing against the armrest as he fights to rein in his emotions. He knows he cannot afford to explode, not here, not now, not on national television. Adnan, on the other hand, sits back like a man who has just executed the final move in a strategic game of chess. A satisfied smirk tugs at the corners of his lips. He is content, his work here is done. Tile, always an eager observer of chaos, watches with barely contained delight. Her amusement does not wane in the slightest. She thrives on this energy, reveling in the unpredictability of it all. Sensing the need to regain control, the host hurriedly shifts the conversation to another topic. But the damage has been done. The room's energy has shifted irreversibly. The words left unspoken hang heavier than the ones that have been said. The tension is no longer loud, but it is unmistakably present, crackling like static in the air. As the camera zooms out, it captures the expressions of every cast member, some entertained, some weary, others simply waiting for the next inevitable explosion. One thing is certain, this tell-all will not be forgotten anytime soon. And as long as the gossip lingers, neither will its aftermath. If you enjoyed this moment of raw, unscripted reality, share your thoughts in the comments and stay with us by subscribing to the channel. The drama is far from over.